What's up, everyone, and welcome to the 47th episode of the Control Freak Podcast. I am Alex Blackard, or at Less Alex on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Check me out on all those platforms. And tonight I have on a returning guest, my good buddy, Evan Bruce. Evan, how's it going?
Good. How you doing, man?
Oh, not too shabby, not too shabby. Just looking over these deck lists, and boy howdy, we have some dominating new cards coming out of Ikoria. But before we get into it, I would like to give a huge shout out to all of my amazing patrons over at patreon.com/lessalex. You're all the best. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you are interested in becoming a patron and supporting my content, head on over there and check it out. Got a lot of perks, got a lot of cool stuff. I know that times are tough right now, but you know, every little bit helps the content creators. And a huge shout out to my brand new sponsor, Iggy's Pop Shop. Use the code LessAlex for 10% off at your purchase over at iggyspopshop.com. And I want to give a special thank you to whoever used that LessAlex code already on 2 boxes of Ikoria. Thank you very much. That is amazing. I've only had it for a couple of weeks, or a couple of days rather. So I really do appreciate that. But let's get into this podcast. We are recording this live on Twitch. So if you hear us talking with the commenters and the viewers, that is exactly what you're hearing. What's up? With that being said, what's up, Jo? How's it going? Year of Commander. Yeah, that is no joke, Jo. That is no joke. So let's get into what we're going to get into. And first things first, we have to talk about the banning of a card on Moto. This isn't a normal... You're shaking. So if you're not watching and you're listening to the podcast, Evan's over here shaking his head.
Oh, you mean you didn't want a card banned 10 minutes into release?
Well, the Otter was banned in Commander before the set even released, so
okay,
it's par for the course.
At least a little bit different.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree. But yeah, we already have a card that's been banned. Not necessarily because it's too powerful, although I would argue that this card is absolutely freaking busted. But it has been banned because of the way it interacts with Leyline of the Void on Magic the Gathering Online. So the name of the card is Garuda? Yeah, here it is. I have it on screen. Garuda, Doom of Depths. It is the Demon Kraken. It's the 6 mana, so it's 4 colorless, and black, blue, 2 hybrid. Legendary creature, Demon Kraken. It's a 6/6 that is a companion. And when it enters the battlefield, basically, you and your opponent put the top 4 cards of your libraries into the graveyard, and then you get to put a creature card with converted mana costs among those cards onto the battlefield under your control with an even mana cost. Sorry, that is important. So I've only played against this one time so far on Arena, and they went off. You play it with Spark Double.
Oh, it's disgusting.
With Spark Double, you copy Spark Double, then it copies Garuda. You get to do it again, and then you get another Spark Double, and then you
just get another Garuda.
Yeah. At worst, you get another Garuda, right? I went from a position where it was like they had maybe what's the little mana dork? The little hexproof mana dork, the 2 mana mana dork. Anyways,
Paradise Druid.
They had a Paradise Druid on the battlefield. The next turn, they had 6 creatures, just out of nowhere. Thank you, Jay. Yeah, Paradise Druid. The card's insane, but the reason it is banned on Moto is because of the way it interacts with Leyline of the Void. Apparently, it can get around Leyline of the Void, so obviously that's not right. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Just the fact that...
So there's a couple of things that I'll add real quick. When the bug was discovered, it was in the middle of a
Oh yeah, the way it was
a
discovered is
legacy
pretty.
league, and someone reported the bug,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of being like trying to come up with some solution, if you had registered Garuda in your deck for that league, you were dropped from the league and given your price of admission back, no matter how far into the league you were.
Right. So if you're going for
So
5-0,
people who were like in the middle of their like second game of their 5-0 match was
right.
dropped and
Or like
didn't
if
receive
you're about to
anything.
swing for lethal or whatever, and to go 5-0, that's brutal.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
So that I think that was
Yeah, and then they refunded everyone 100 play points in 3 packs.
oh, it was everybody in the
Yeah,
league.
so everybody got dropped, and then
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, thank you, Jo. Yeah, no, it's just another thing. I mean, I know this is little. It is grand scheme of things. This is a little thing, but
It's
God,
just
more
another
feel
like
bads. It's just more feel bads.
Wizards needs to learn how to handle things like this. Like there are multiple other companies running events that are running games that are just as big as Magic that don't run into these issues.
Yeah, and I think that's and the fact that Wizards of the Coast. I mean, how long has Moto been around? What, the 2001? I think, right? That's whenever it first started.
No idea, really.
Regardless, it's my point is it's been around for a long time. I would assume, yes, accidents happen. It's not
2002.
2002, sure. So it's not the fact that it happened. That's not what would upset me, right? It's the response is always just so incorrect. Almost every single time they mess up, they just don't get it. They don't like 100.
I think there's a couple of things to that because, like, I don't think they see that they're making mistakes.
I mean,
like,
I don't know if they. I don't think that they care.
That's it. Like,
I think they know they're messing up. I just don't think that they genuinely care.
I think some of that gets handed off to Hasbro. Like,
I can see that a little bit, yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure. Obviously, I'm not inside Wizards, but I'd like to think that at some portion, Wizards cares about the player base, and Hasbro, it would make sense that they didn't.
Yeah,
Magic isn't the only thing in their portfolio.
Right, but it is their biggest moneymaker. At least Arena was last year. It was their best IP for sure. But it's just like every time there's a problem, it seems like the response is worse than the initial thing that went wrong, right? It's just every single time. I mean, they could have just, like, what is it to just have said, okay, we're sorry, we're just going to give everybody 5-0 prizes.
Yeah, like
what would that have really mattered?
Everybody that was in that league have a cup, like, have your treasure chests, and
right.
Like, it's not like it costs the company money.
Right, for ones and zeros, it's literally nothing, right?
I don't know. I think part of it is there are other things that are going on with Wizards that this coupled with, like, timing wise, it doesn't feel good. Like, what's the ultimate secret lair?
Yeah.
How
the prices are just crazy.
Well, have you seen, like, what the price gouge is yet?
It's like $350, right?
No, it's $400.
Oh Jesus! I didn't know it was that high.
If you buy, so like TCG Player right now has it at $400.
Wow.
And if you buy just the individual fetch lands by themselves, they're equivalent to $250. But if
they're not foil either. Like, they look good. The art's really dope on almost all of them.
Absolutely.
But
Magic is really good at getting good art on cards.
especially premium products. They've really been. That is the one thing I will say about. And I didn't really want to take this episode this way, but like, I feel like I talk about art almost every episode now. But the art in almost every set recently has just been on fire.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Tip of the cap to you, Wizards, for that one. But
it's more and more blatant that whether it is Wizards, whether it is Hasbro, whether it's Morrow or R&D or wherever it's happening, somebody who has considerable sway over the outcome doesn't care about the client.
I would argue that Mark Rosewater probably cares more than anyone else in that company.
Probably. I certainly wouldn't think
I am not, like, I am a rather competitive player, and I know a lot of competitive players absolutely despise Mark Rosewater, but he's exactly what I needed as a newer player, and I love and respect Mark Rosewater for as quirky and goofy as that man is. He is everything that is right.
We also weren't as competitive pre Mark Rosewater.
Sure, that's fair.
So it's, not to take anything away from Morrow by any means. I respect him. I think he makes some interesting decisions and claims.
Yeah. He's very good at misleading, answering questions in a very nefarious way.
I wouldn't say nefarious so much as he knows how to have his answers suit his need.
Yeah. That's a very good way to put it. Yeah, that's a very, very, very good way to put it. Luris is dominating almost every format. Can we talk about that real quick? Companion is busted. Like, I will admit, I said on this podcast that this set was only for Commander. I think you were on that episode too.
Yeah. It was.
And yeah, Companion seems to actually just be insane and just totally busted.
A lot of people, like, you saw people complaining. I want to say it was. I know. Pleasant Kenobi was going off on Twitter about Companion being broken, and I know I saw Huey talking about it being broken.
Yeah, there was a lot of personalities that were saying how good it is.
But, like, a lot of people were saying that they didn't think it would be until a week ago.
Yeah, until we started getting the streamer, the streamers playing it and everything.
I feel like it took about 10 minutes of those early access streams.
Yeah, which I did not end up doing. I apologize, but I found out last minute that I actually had the code and that I was allowed to do it. So I was like, oh, wait, I have not prepared for this at all. But yeah, it's just, why are we every set? I feel like we come back to the same thing. I don't know what it is, and I really don't know what the problem is. Is it the fact that we have pros now helping design the cards, and pros, what do pros want? They want a good, powerful, strong card.
So here's what I think is going on.
Go off. Yeah.
Morrow and R&D have always talked about the flow of Magic being of power lows and power highs. And
circular. I remember that.
We function in this cycle system, and we've
been on a very, very powerful 3 or 4 years.
For the last, Amonkhet was the beginning of the peak. In the last couple of sets, we've seen these big pushed cards, these Okos, these Uros, now Luris,
Garuda.
But if you look at War of the Spark compared to Theros, compared to Ikoria, we are getting slowly less powerful. And
I don't know. Dude, Companion's pretty messed up. So I
agree. But I think if you compare pound for pound, at least initial reaction from me. I could be completely off base.
I mean, to compare, and I assume this is what we're pretty much comparing, is Planeswalkers with static abilities versus Companion.
Right.
They're very comparable. I would argue they're very, very comparable. But being able to play
very different rules of
yeah,
Magic.
That's true. They're just being able to play a card, just not having to draw it. Like, that's the beautiful thing about this game, right? This is why John Finkel can be beaten by a 10-year-old, right? It's a game of variance. And to say, okay, I'm going to have this card, yeah, you kind of get some information about my deck, but I'm just going to play it on turn 3 and crush you with it every single or turn 5 if you're playing Garuda or whatever.
Sure, but
like,
I would argue
turn 4, I guess, with Garuda.
That is the initial reaction to whatever the new powerful, slot in powerful deck X in the first week after a new set comes out. Like, look at, well, I can't. That would be a bad.
Look at Oko.
Delver took a minute, but no.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, look at Uro. Uro was an immediate presence in every format.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It to me, turn 1 Cavern, LED, uncounterable Garuda. Oh my God! I saw that screenshot, Jo, on Twitter. There was a screenshot of that.
Yeah.
It's fair and balanced Magic. And then of course, you have like 6 creatures on board turn 1. Disgusting.
I mean,
you're not beating that. Like, no deck is beating that.
You just Dark Ritual Damnation. Lotus Petal Damnation. There we go.
There we go. We found it. No, I just think that it's like, man, they're really wearing on me. Every set, it's something new. Every set, it's like, oh my God, another game-breaking mechanic that is just OP. And I get it. I promise to you, all the listeners and all the watchers, I have never been, and Evan, you've known me basically my whole life, I've never been, get the pitchforks, let's ban everything just because it's seeing play. You agree with that statement?
I agree.
But at this point, I'm like, get the pitchforks. These companions needs to go.
So let me ask, we talked fairly recently about bannings.
Yeah.
And we talked this episode about bannings.
Yeah.
Do you prefer to live in a Magic world where cards are frequently banned? And how does that make you feel about investing in paper Magic?
Oh, I'm not doing it.
Like,
no way.
After
I haven't. After COVID
after
and everything.
All this pandemic stuff dies down, and assuming Magic can re-establish and re-normalize.
Yeah.
Does that make you at all feel like you can invest in Magic? And if not, does that kill paper Magic?
Invest in cards that are on the restricted list, or the reserve list, rather. That's what I would say.
Is there even a point in that if paper Magic is done?
Yeah, I think there'll always be collectors, right? At least in our lifetime. At least, like, in my lifetime.
Yeah.
No, I definitely, like, with the way that they're doing the packs and everything, the what are the name of the special packs? I'm terrible. I'm sorry.
The
collector packs and and just like all the alt art stuff and all that stuff. It's really driving down the price of, like, and I said this a couple months ago, it's driving down the price of normal foils, which I am a fan. Like, as much as I have had opportunity to profit off of Magic cards, I've never done it because I've always wanted to just make content and, like, enjoy the actual game side of it, rather than, I know there's an amazing financial side to it. Obviously, there are plenty of people who are backpack traders and make a living, or recently, and probably not so much now, but have made a living off of just flipping Magic cards, buying low, selling high, basic stuff there, basic flipping 101 basically. I've never done that, and I've had a lot of opportunities. I've worked as a card shop manager and worker for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, and just never been interested in flipping Magic cards personally, just because that's not my interest in Magic. I don't want to just flip and make money off of people like that. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm not, because flipping, I love flipping shoes. I love flipping sports cards, like other stuff. That's fine. But just to me, that's never been my thing. So I'm fine with the prices being low, and I enjoy really cheap foils because I foil out all my stupid decks. But I don't think I would not invest in Magic cards, because something can get printed, something can get reprinted, and then boom, down the toilet.
So, assuming that Wizards' goal is to promote investment and growth of the game,
I don't think they care about investment.
Because obviously, the more people they're bringing in, the more packs they're selling, the more money they're making. Do you think there's a system like counter printing? So it's an idea where you print this very powerful mechanic card and you let it be powerful broken for X months, and then in the next set you print something to balance the format.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
Do you think that period of time, whatever it is, I think it's usually 4 months between sets?
Yeah, it's just like, so we had that, right? They like refused, for the longest time, they just refused to ban, oh my gosh, the graveyard boy, the big boy.
Golgari Graveyard Troll?
No. The one that had the deck. Hogak. So they printed Hogak. Yes, thank you, J.O. They printed Hogak and just let it ride. Yeah, J.O.'s the MVP. Like, just straight up. No, they printed Hogak and just let it ride for months. And we're like, okay, well, the PT's coming up, so you guys all just got to deal with it. And, like, everybody at LGS is like, what are we doing out here? This is obviously busted nonsense.
Trade-off. You end up with things like Eldrazi Winter.
Mm-hmm. And Hogak Summer.
Or Hogak Summer. Like, that's your trade-off.
Yeah, and I understand that, like, if they're not pushing the envelope, then we're just going to be underwhelmed. And that is also bad.
Yeah.
But you would assume after 25 years of making cards, we kind of have a sweet spot.
You'd like to think so.
I would like to think so. And and again, this is kind of goes back to what we were talking about at the top of the podcast. I don't know, and it might be that all the new people, all the pros, Melissa Del Toro, Smith, I can never remember that guy's name. Anyway. Dominic Smith, I don't know. Anyways, all those former pros, Adam Prozac is one of them. Anyway, a lot of pros in their new R&D department. Maybe they're pushing these cards too far just based on what they would want to play if they were playing, right?
Sorry, I'm reading Jay's
I think it's fine. You can read it out loud. I think it's fine to have that in standard, but when the cards are so broken they radically change legacy, every set there's a problem. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
But what's the line of, I want cards that are relevant in older formats, but I don't want cards that radically alter older formats?
I would say cards like Draft Digger's Cage, cards like Thalia, those are like usually the cards that have a good impact in older formats without just completely warping around them are reactionary cards, right? Are answers, not threats, but answers. So
does that mean there's not a place for those in older formats anymore?
You can still have them, but you have to do it very, very cautiously, right? You have to, like, tweaking numbers. Like, that's one thing I've always loved about Wizards is they'll come out at, several years later and show you the report, the document of a certain card. So like Tarmogoyf going from, I'm just using Tarmogoyf as an example, but like from a 4 mana and then, oh no, this needs to be cheaper. Okay, well, and then it shows you their log of notes. And I've always found that to be pretty interesting. So I would like to see some of the notes on Companion and some of the notes on some of these most recent cards, like Oko. Like, why in the hell was Oko's +1 a +1? Like, why not?
I will say...
Or +2, right? It was a +2. Jesus
I
Christ.
know at least Ian Duke has addressed Oko on a few different occasions. I know there are some other people who have.
I'm not talking about Oko specifically.
I'm just saying,
but
for that specifically, those who want to go out and find it can go find it.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's just stuff like that would be nice to have. Almost if they could do it like a month after the set releases, that'd be cool, just to see their line of thinking and actually have notes, because that's one thing, like in sports they do, like whenever they mic up players to see the reasoning behind why a player does something, it'd be nice to see why a designer designs a card a certain way,
Yeah,
and it would put my mind at ease a little bit, is that, oh, okay, and then you wouldn't have as much backlash, I think, as there is all the time.
Yeah. That's fair.
But yeah, a lot of craziness going on. Companions nuts. Lurrus is taking over. We're about to get into that. We're going to talk about the standard, Pioneer, and Modern challenges that happened today on 420. So let's get into this. First place, Broken Pots _CB took down the standard variant of the challenges today with Black-Red Sacrifice. Nothing too crazy, right?
This has definitely been the most popular deck right now, though.
Yeah, and I've seen this online before Lurrus was printed, and Lurrus is a one of in the sideboard, but it is the companion, as it is each permanent in this player's deck is CMC 2 or less. So,
and I will say this deck did get a handful of new cards from Ikoria.
Yeah, it's
that just have made this deck infinitely better.
Yeah, it's got Call of the Death Dweller. Obviously, Lurrus is insane.
Honestly, Whisper Squad and Serrated Scorpion seem innocuous because they're these 1 mana common just throw-in cards almost.
Sure.
But they're those kind of glue cards that just pull the deck together.
Oh yeah, they bridge the gap. And you can get them back, obviously, with Lurrus, which is nuts. And you can sacrifice them to Priests of the Forgotten Gods. This deck is very, very good. Obviously, I will have these lists linked in the description below for those not watching on Twitch or YouTube. But it's Lurrus. Lurrus is everywhere, as you'll see as we go down this list.
Well,
go for it.
We'll get there as we keep going.
Second place, Alice 1986. Red Black Sacrifice with 1 Lurrus.
Very similar.
Very, very similar.
A little bit different. Different numbers here and there, but
yeah, a couple cards off. But still same basic thing. It is red black. I mean, Lurrus again, just
yeah. All right, Alex, I can't wait any longer. Let's talk about the third place deck. What's the third place deck, Alex?
So Gracia Sportinato. Sorry if I butchered that. Third place, Blue-White Control. Mama, we made it, finally. And Blue-White Control was very dominant for a short period of time in Standard a couple of months ago. But here we have it. We'll just talk about it here. We have, and I'm very surprised by this card.
Oh, let's jump straight to it, Alex. Let's talk about this shark.
Voracious Great Shark, third place in a challenge. I may or may not have said a couple weeks ago this card was hot garbage. I stand by that. 5 mana. As a one of, it's only a one of. This is an exception to the
all joking
rule.
aside, there's another shark card in this deck that I think is it's amazing. And it's Shark Typhoon.
Yeah, we have Sharknado. That card I said was really sweet, and I hope that it would find a place.
Like, playing it this week, it has felt so good to cast that card. Cycling and casting, like, I got to blow out a Teamer Adventures deck. They were like, I'm going to get in with my Edgewall Innkeeper and poke you before I do all of my shenanigans. And I got to ambush them with a shark, and you get to create these awkward, like, either resolve a relevant spell or keep your relevant creature alive, and you force them into awkward positions.
Oh, for
and
sure.
It feels real good.
Yeah, Shark Typhoon is legit. But so 2 Narsets, 4 Teferis, 3 Dream Trawlers, 1 Voracious Great Shark, 3 Shadow the Skies, 3 Absorb, 3 Essence Scatter, 3 Mystical Dispute, 2 Thirst for Meaning, a lot of enchantments. We have 3 Elspeth Conquerors deck, 4 Omen of the Seas, 2 Shark Typhoons, and 2 Birth of Meletis. So obviously this is taking a little bit more of an enchantment base. And why wouldn't you? With as many good we have Omen of the Seas, Elspeth Conquerors Death, and Birth were already great in this format, and Shark Typhoon's just
and I think
cherry
it's
on
a
top.
nod to playing Archon of the Sun's Grace in the sideboard.
Oh, yeah. You already play
that
card, even without all these enchantments, though.
I'm not thrilled with Birth. Like,
oh, dude, it's so good, though. It bridges the gap.
I
wouldn't say it's a necessity,
but it has felt more and more out of place the more I've played.
That's fair.
Blue-white.
I haven't played much standard blue-white. I'll definitely have to check this list out. So next time I stream, I'll probably be playing this in standard because this deck looks pretty cool. Probably minus the Gear Hulk, the Great Shark. If it was a Gear Hulk, I'd be all in.
What?
But
why would you cut the Great Shark?
Nah, bro, it ain't it. They'd have probably got first if they would have just played literally any other card, like a 4th Absorb or something. I'll probably play 3 Thirst for Meanings because that card is absolute cheese. But no, Blue-Eye Control, guys. Okay, so Blue-Eye Control. Hopefully it can build on this. Very good first week. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of this list. The sideboard, pretty decent too. This sideboard's pretty stock, I'd say. We're playing Grafstigger's Cage. I'm assuming this is for Garuda shenanigans.
It shuts off Garuda. It also shuts off Escape, Uro, and Kroxa, especially with... it also shuts off things like the Cat combo.
Yeah.
In the Sacrifice deck.
Yeah, and that deck is pretty good against control.
Yeah, it is.
So next up in 4th place, we got Quinatic in 4th place with Black-White Sacrifice. This is kind of like Aristocrats, basically.
Yeah, this feels a little more on the life gain side.
Yeah.
With Cruel Celebrant, where they're really trying to abuse a Johnny's Pridemate.
Yeah, Johnny's Pridemate gets really big in this deck.
One card I do want to highlight, another new Ikoria card, is Heartless Act.
Yeah, buddy.
The new best removal in definitely standard.
Definitely standard, yeah. It's very good.
Maybe Pioneer? It's probably not better than Push.
Yeah, Push is very good. That is a hard barrier to... you basically have to have a 1-mana removal spell in order to be better than Push, I think. But yeah, no, very good. So for those that don't know, it is on screen, but I'll read it out here. I'm sure you all do, but it's Heartless Act, colorless, and a black for an instant uncommon. Choose one. Destroy target creature with no counters on it, or remove up to 3 counters from target creature. I really wish it said target permanent because you could nuke planeswalkers.
Oh,
that would be insane. But in the sideboard, guess who's here? Lurrus of the Dream Den. Another one.
Your favorite.
Yeah, everybody's favorite. Yours, mine,
Hey,
everyone.
at least you only have to get one of it.
I guess that's fair. This is the budget deck for everyone. In the next slot in 5th place, Bob Jackson. Mono Blue Flash. Let's go. I'm going to just... I like this deck. We got
It's
Borrowers.
got
We
one of
got
my favorite cards in the set. It's got the octopus.
yeah, the Octopus looking just studly. I love the way that
Also,
card looks.
can we just talk about how I'm pretty sure Stone Coil Serpent is going to be the most played but most non-talked about card for the next 4 months.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
But nobody ever talks about it.
It's so good against like everything. I mean,
Everything.
everything. No, this deck's sweet. It's playing Borrowers, Brindeboard Cutthroat, Spectral Sailor, Stone Cold Serpent, and that's the bottom line. Essence Capture, which, I mean, it's kind of quirky, but it makes sense in this deck.
15 counter spells.
Yeah, basically get your man down there, protect him, and ride him to victory. Very, very reminiscent of old school mono blue. That, oh, I'm drawing a blank. Anyway.
In what?
It's fine. Let's move on. In sixth place, we have P-Tarts to win. Anyways, I hate moto names with a burning passion. Red Black Sacrifice. This is a little bit different. It's got Luris's main deck. So
it's got an Obosh as the companion. That's the one that everything has to be odd mana.
Autumn Burchett's mono blue tempo deck. Yes, that's what I was trying to refer to, but I forgot their name. So shout out
Man,
Autumn.
Gio, good.
I know. He's always on top of it. Thank you. But yeah, this one is a little bit different. It's got stuff like Luris main deck, so that's a little bit different.
Playing Judith,
Midnight Reaper,
God Eternal
Bantu, and Woe Strider. Whoa.
Also of note, they use Drill Bit as their hand disruption because Agonizing Remorse is an even mana. Actually, they could play even mana in the sideboard.
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder why you play Drill Bit in that slot instead of Agonizing Remorse.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But
someone plays this deck. Get at me. Let me know why.
Shatton in 7th place with good old-fashioned Fires of Inventions with Narset of the Ancient Way. This is a card I was very excited for. I'm sad that
I'm still excited for.
I'm sad that it had to be a red card, but I'm happy that it's seeing play here. 7th place. I mean, there's not a whole lot different other than the Narset. We're still seeing Bone Crushers. We're still seeing Kinrith and Cavaliers and Sphinx's Foresight.
This is another new companion, though. They are using Karuga. It's the everything costs 3 or more. The green-blue hybrid one.
And when it enters the battlefield, you get to draw a card for each other permanent you control with converted mana cost 3 or greater. That seems insane in this deck. Because that's not that's not even a restriction in this deck, because everything costs 3 or more. Just already.
Pretty much.
So really cool. I hate this art on this card makes me very uncomfortable though.
I mean, it's a big hippo.
It's awkward.
Kinda.
I don't like it. It looks at me funny. Next up we have Kasner 3000, and I'll let you take this one away because this one's a fun one.
It's a blast from the past with some new tools. It's an Arclight Phoenix deck playing 4 of the new mythic Rael the Everwise. It's a 3 mana 0/3 legendary human. Gets +1/0 for each instant sorcery in your graveyard. And why it works so well with Phoenix is because it incentivizes you to discard. When you discard 1 or more cards, for the first time each turn, draw that many cards. I saw somebody go Cathartic Reunion, discard 2 Arclight Phoenixes, draw 5 cards.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, that's nutty.
What?
Cathartic Reunion art. The new Cathartic Reunion art is so sick, too. So, yeah, Sprite Dragon, Real, Electromancer, and Arclight Phoenix. We do have a Blitz of the Thunder Raptor.
I love this card.
It's pretty sweet. Man, the arts on these cards are really cool, other than that scary hippo. We we do have a companion in this one too.
Yep. Giganta.
Giganta the Wellspring. So it's just so funny that like we were talking about all these companions and how they were just nonsense, and like here, literally every deck has one companion in it.
Yep, here they are.
Oh, it's so funny.
Man, I will say for this format, like yes, we see a lot of Lurrus, but at least this feels like a diverse first week.
Well, if we dig into like 9 through 12, we start to see there's just a lot of Fires of Invention decks here. There is a Teamer Reclamation deck, and then just a lot of Fires, and then even more Redback Sacrifice. So we'll see. It might just be a 2-deck format. I'm not willing to say that just yet, but man.
Yeah, I think we have some time to figure that out.
Yeah, for sure. But that'll be it for the Standard Challenge. We're going to move on to the Pioneer Challenge because that's kind of the bread and butter of this podcast at this point. But
this one's fun.
Yeah, I hope you guys like Lurrus because that's basically what this is. Oh, look, as you can see, if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, there's another Caves of Koilos down there. So get ready for more Lurrus. In first place, Gasman 48 with Saram, white-black Saram, with Lurrus in the sideboard as the companion.
I hope you guys are ready for this deck a lot.
Yeah, this deck looks really, really finite, and it's small. It's very woo Lurrus, yay, says Jo. Yeah, this deck, Griff's Boon. We're talking about Sentinel's Eyes, Ethereal Armor, Cartouche.
It's Boggles, everybody.
Yeah.
It's back.
Back again. And then in second place we have Osun Q with the same deck, basically.
Oh yeah, no. This isn't the last time you're gonna see the SRAM deck. Don't worry. It'll be back.
In third place, Stainer Sun has brought in a little bit different of a flavor of Lurrus, but it's all the same. We have white-red Lurrus, and basically the white main deck is for Boros Charm. We have Eidolon, Get Through Lava Runner. Yeah, this is just burn with Lurrus.
You just got a free extra card. Like,
hey, guess what's in fourth place?
I'm gonna guess Saram.
Saram with Lurrus in the board. Yeah, you guessed it. Oh, in fifth place, Saram with Lurrus as companion in the sideboard. Sixth place, and I never thought I'd say this, but thank you for Spirits. Do we have any? We have Bant Spirits.
I don't think there's any new cards in this list. Nope.
I mean, I'm happy for that.
Yeah.
Oh, and then in seventh place, a good old friend, we have Inverter Combo. So.
Oh yeah, don't worry, it hasn't gone anywhere.
And then we have like probably the fairest deck and like the deck that I would approve of, which is crazy to say that in the top 8, but we have red green aggro, Domries, Bone Crusher Giant, Clothis. Great Henge is a hell of a card. And then
they have a companion. They have Obosh.
Oh yeah. Another one. Guys, get ready to pretty much have companions dominate every format because that's where we're living right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
it seems we're heading that way.
It's just all Lurrus, Obosh, and Inverter decks. I mean, that's all it is. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Here's a Constrictor deck. That's pretty cool. Balking Ballista, Whining Constrictor, Hanger Backwalker, the Ozolith. Hey, we were talking about that on the last episode.
Yeah.
Ozolith potentially bringing back Hardened Scales, and it looks like it. There's some meat and potatoes here for a good solid deck. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of anything that's not that's not Lurrus. Oh, but wait, there is a Lurrus in this deck. I hate everything. I hate everything. Hey, look, there's another Luris in the 15th place deck.
Who'd have thought?
Okay, so that is yeah. I mean, Blue Eye Control, guys.
So Pioneer's Luris.
So yeah, just rename the format.
And let's look at Modern.
Let's take a look at Modern. Maybe Modern will be a little bit different, guys. Come on, let's not get too hasty.
You want to guess what's in the first place deck?
I'm sure that McWinsauce, the legendary McWinsauce, who has championed many of Control decks, has taken it down with Blue-White Control.
You'd rather play against Mistress Workshop than Luris. That's saying something.
Cheo, that's funny. Oh, that's good stuff. Yeah, no. Yeah. It's another Luris deck, guys.
Hey, don't worry, it's Luris, it's back.
So, fun fact, Mishra's Bobble is a 4 of in this deck. In this Modern deck that McWinsauce took it down with. It is a Cryptic Command deck, but every deck in Modern is a Cryptic Command deck now because of Arkham's Astrolabe.
That's correct.
Mishra's Bobble is a $70 card on Moto now. Just a fun fact.
It's ridiculous.
It's insane. So yeah, I mean, this is like basically 5-color. Oh, we're not playing white because white's garbage in 2020.
There's just no need.
Yeah, why play the best removal spell, right? I guess path or push is just better nowadays. Abrupt Decay. We're playing Archmage's Charm. That's a triple blue spell in a 4-color deck. Thank you, Arkham's Astrolabe. You really fixed magic. And then Luris is in the sideboard too as the companion.
You know, why not?
Because why not, you know? Second place, Elad 3127. Burn. Hey. Good old Burn. But wait, Luris is in the sideboard. Don't you love it?
Wow.
Oh,
all right, let's look at.
Let's take a look here. Oh wait, is that another Luris here in third place?
Luris.
Sebastian Stuckel. Third place, Dark Confidant, Croax, Tarmogoyf. This is Jund.
With Luris.
And a Seal of Fire, because why not?
Oh hey, look, we're on to the next one. We got Hardened Scales.
Hardened Scales again. With Luris.
With Luris.
With Luris as its companion in the sideboard.
All right, let's.
So we're at 5th place, and literally the first 4 decks are all Luris. Go to my YouTube channel and watch this.
Wait, the next one. Get to 5th place. We have a new companion. Yorion Sky Nomad.
Yeah, so another.
I don't even think I've seen this one.
No, this one's sweet. This is the one that people were telling me was good, and I'm just like, I don't see it, but I am an idiot, apparently.
So if it has contains at least 20 cards more.
You have to have an 80-card starting library.
Jeez, manage battlefield, exile any number of other non-land permanents you own. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's some power.
Yeah, It is.
So that's interesting. In an Urza deck?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Blinking your Euro is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Blinking your Astrolabe, not bad.
J.O. said Mishra's Bobble went from 25 ticks to 60 ticks because of Luris.
Yeah, it's nuts. Ice Fang Quaddle getting bounced, not bad. Resetting your Wrenn and 6, not bad.
If you were kind of worried, don't worry. 6th place brings us right back to Luris.
Yep. This is basically Prowess, Mono Red Prowess with Luris. We're just playing. Does this actually not have any black? Okay. No, this actually doesn't have any black mana. That's hilarious.
No. What do you need black mana for?
What do you need black mana for with a black-white hybrid card?
Yeah, you got
Moving. Yeah. Doomwake in 6th place with Mono Red Prowess featuring Luris as its companion. In 7th place, DM95, a Delver of Secret Snapcaster Mage deck. This is a deck that in theory, everything that I've ever done in Magic, I should love this deck. I love tempo
Don't
decks.
worry, there's Luris in the sideboard.
Luris in the sideboard, though. Kind of kills it for me, I'll be honest. Serum Visions, that's a really cool art they have on the Magic website. Oh, Devoted Druid combo. There's no way that Luris is in this sideboard. Oh, my God. I'm done.
Hey, look.
There's Luris, guys. There's Luris. I just might as well change my podcast to the Luris Freak podcast because this is nuts.
So it's going to get banned, right? Is that the answer?
Here's one that doesn't have it. Okay. 10th place. So not in the top 8 anymore. 10th place, we have humans. No new cards in the main deck, though.
In the main, yeah.
But Giganta is in the sideboard, so a companion is in the sideboard. If you're not playing companion as a companion, you're just not playing Magic anymore. Grixis Delver featuring Luris feels legacy, man, right? Oh my goodness. And then we have another one.
Man, this is something. Another
Giganthra in 11th place. In 12th place, at this point, I'm just seeing if we can find a deck that doesn't play a companion. It looks like finally we did.
12th place and 13th place do not play companions.
So this is Infect. Good old-fashioned Infect. Yep. I can't believe I'm saying that this is my most favorite deck in this entire top 13 thus far. And then we have Dredge, which are two decks I absolutely hate. But here we are. They don't have companions, so I'm like rooting for them and glad they did good. Okay, and then here's Luris back again in 14th place. Ace Killer.
So moral of the story, Luris is...
If you're not playing Luris or...
You're not playing.
Or Giganta or Yorion or any companion for that matter, you're probably not playing Magic the Gathering correctly or winning. They've kind of dominated.
We'll see. I'll be interested to see how everything shakes out moving forward in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Especially in Pioneer.
So, somebody on Twitter, I think I tweeted something to the effect of, so even Doomsday plays Luris. Jesus!
Why not?
That's free. Wild. So I posted on Twitter that I said Garuda is insane, and somebody responded to me with something along the lines of, "Oh, you're just complaining. Like, find an answer." Da 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 da. And that's all good. I agree. For the most part, just try and find an answer. But the thing with this is, you get it on turn 3 or 2, depending upon what kind of deck you're playing, every single time, right? There's no because it's not like it's a mystery. It's not like I have to draw this card even to... It's there. It's just there. Like, yeah, you have to announce it to your opponent, but that does give away a little bit of it, people can kind of know what you're doing, what you're up to. But there's no way to just get around. Either you have, from a control player's perspective, you either have a counterspell or they're just going off, especially with Garuda, because that card's just absolutely insane. If you don't counter it, the thing just happens, and they can build up a board from literally nothing to having 6. And Jo, you were in chat the other night whenever I was playing that match, and they went from having literal 1 mana dork to having 6 creatures on the board in a turn, and it was like 20 minutes into game 3, and I'd used several wraths. Like,
that's ridiculous.
Like, I agree, we should think outside the box when trying to fight some of these things, but at the end of the day, Wizards, what are we doing here? This isn't Yu-Gi-Oh!
Trying to make money.
This isn't Yu-Gi-Oh! We don't have a side... I mean, I guess it is now. FYI, for my first time, I'm casting an uncounterable creature with the game-winning ETB. Oh, okay. Thanks for the heads up. I'll concede now. Exactly, Jo. That's
how games go.
Point. That's how it works now. That's how we play Magic now. Control decks just don't exist anymore. And I understand if you're listening to this and being like, wow, Alex is really a bummer now and doesn't ever have that
That's
positive
my fault.
that positive outlook that we loved
I
about him.
have that effect on you.
No, it's not you. It's just Wizards just, and I get it, it's a business, right? But at the same time, this is a symbiotic relationship between the company that and gaming is such an, you have to listen to your fans more in gaming than almost any other industry. I guess like music maybe too, right? Like if you just keep putting out
music,
albums.
movies, like entertainment.
Right. But like, so entertainment, exactly. This is an entertainment. This is entertaining. If you are pissing your fans off, you're not going to have a business for very long.
So here's the thing, though. We, as Magic players, get all riled up and then go spend $400 on Ultimate Secret Lair. So there's no incentive.
Which you should all go do over at iggyspopshop.com. Use coupon code LessAlex to save 10% off. But my point is that, like, you have to listen to us. And I get it. They're working years and years in advance, and I understand that. But can we just ban these cards already?
I mean, sure, but...
Companion is obviously a mistake when literally... And I don't know anything about Vintage.
They're not going to ban cards just because their mechanic is a mistake. Like, Teferi Time Raveler still exists in every format. Narset Parter Veil still exists. Like, these cards were mistakes. They don't care.
Yeah, and everybody should know, if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, I actually do not like the card Teferi Time Raveler. Obviously, I'm going to play it because it's a great card in the decks that I play. But if that card were to just had never existed, I'd be completely content with that. No, guys, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take for me to be positive about Magic right now, because all signs are pointing to the fact that they just aren't listening. They're kind of letting Hasbro kind of take the wheel here. That's what I think it is.
I also think the lack of paper Magic right now isn't helping.
I can understand where that would be for most people. Yeah. Personally, I don't really ever play paper Magic. Shout out Card Hoarder, because they hooked me up with that really sick sponsorship. So I don't really have the want right now, which is sad, because I do love playing with my friends. And I mean, that's how we all started playing Magic, or at least I'm sure a lot of us have, just in a comic shop playing till basically they kicked us out. But yeah, everybody, I hope, I want people to enjoy it. And if this is kind of Magic you like, by all means, keep playing and keep having fun with the game. But personally, if you've been noticing that I haven't been streaming Magic a lot, this is why. These kind of decisions is why, because it's just Luris and all these companion cards, and it goes beyond these specific cards. But it's these kinds of decisions that I'm just like not on board with. But keep playing if you enjoy it, by all means. I don't want to take anyone's fun away. Just because it's not my cup of tea doesn't mean it's not yours. But I mean, that's pretty much all I got for this episode. What about you, Ev?
No, I think that about covers where we are in Magic right now. Someone break standards so I can play something fun on Arena.
Yeah, right. I know that my buddy Timewalk TV actually just tweeted, hey, I know I should be playing this red-black Luris deck, but I'm really loving this Jeskai control deck, so I might have to hit him up for a list, because
I've been working on one.
You have to share it with me, because...
Dude, Narset is where it's at. It's fun.
Oh, I'm excited.
The card is gas.
Yeah, so I'm not giving up on Magic, but oh, excuse me. I'm not giving up on Magic, but yeah, I definitely have to find that re-spark again, no pun intended. So yeah, everybody, thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate every single one of you who has stuck it out with me. I know that with the quarantine and everything, everyone's making content, and there are a lot of great podcasts and content out there that have been kind of made because of the quarantine. So try and look at the brighter side of things, So everybody that's still listening and still watching, I appreciate you for rocking with me through this. But as always, Ev, you want to say a little Well, goodbye.
You guys, if you haven't subbed to all the channels, go check out Alex's Twitter. It's sometimes humorous.
You'll watch me punt a lot. That's
It's a
humorous. That's humorous to them.
But always support your LGSs, your local creators, and stay safe.
Absolutely. So, again, everybody, thanks for rocking with me. Until next time, keep cracking them packs, keep playing, and be kind to one another, Magic players. Adios.